reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, Jews demand signs and Greeks look for wisdom, but we proclaim Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles. But to those who are called, Jews and Greeks alike, Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength. The word of the Lord.
Our second reading for this Sunday is taken from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. We have been reflecting on giving God rightful glory and honor. In the first reading from the book of Exodus, we see a central point. We give God honor if we do not worship other gods, if we remove from our lives false gods. Only when we fix our eyes on the true God without forgetting what God has done for us, only then will we render to God true worship and also live honorably in society. When we look at all the ills in society, they're somehow connected to idolatry. When money, power, ambition become the gods of peoples. So we honor God by recognizing God, and this is seen in a life of integrity and justice and fairness in society. In the second reading, St. Paul presents to us a way of honoring God, of glorifying God, and it is in and through Jesus Christ. So we are beyond commandments here. We are back to a person. But wow, what a person. If in the first reading God says, you should not have other gods besides me, then here, during the time of Christ, Jesus claims that He and the Father are one, that the Father is in Him, and that caused a lot of scandal. People could not believe that God, the only God, could come to them in the form of this lowly human being, the son of a carpenter, the son of a maiden named Mary, and who lived a life that appeared to be dishonorable. And this type of life led him to the cross. But St. Paul reminds the Corinthians, as he reminds all of us, you want to honor God? You want to give God glory? Turn to Jesus, especially the crucified Christ. Christ crucified. And he says, the Jews consider Christ, the crucified Christ, a scandal, a stumbling block. You prevent us from seeing God. But for us, this scandalous person possesses the power of God. Recognizing Jesus hanging on the cross, powerless, a scandal, a criminal, you must see the power of the infinite God. The Greeks, the Gentiles, look at Jesus and find Him, wow, foolish. The whole Christ event was foolishness. But for those who recognize the true God, they will see wisdom in Jesus Christ. We are back to that theme. How do we give God true honor? Recognize Him, the only true God. But let us also be ready to embrace, to accept His rather surprising manifestation, His rather surprising revelation of His true nature in Jesus Christ. A scandal to all, but to believers, the power of God. Foolishness to some, but for the believers, the wisdom of God. Recognizing Jesus in his power and wisdom on the cross is to give God glory and honor.